I stumbled into Elmbrook Church in the late 70s, early 80s as a young 20-something, and I marveled at these missionaries during Mission Fest that left professional careers and started to serve the Lord. And for the next 25 years, that's been on my heart. And 5 years ago, I decided to get out of the corporate world, even though I still play in the corporate world, and generate a faith-based, Christ-serving organization to meet the needs of the Central City residents. And as we got into the business part of it, people were coming in and they had needs for windows, for doors, for flooring, and we were able to satisfy their needs for pennies on the dollar. And we have moved so far just about $6 million worth of material retail value in 4.5 years, and have served over 35,000 people in Milwaukee's redevelopment zone. When I started, I had a lot of hot air in my laptop. I had a business plan, I had a marketing plan, and my business background afforded me the experience to go into the city and use that platform to help people rebuild their homes, and also to introduce Christ in a very tangible need. I give them a door and they ask why. I'm George Bogdanovich, Executive Director for the Community Warehouse, and My Faith is Working.
George, I've been down to Community Warehouse a couple of times. It just strikes me as just such a sensible and brilliant idea to have manufacturers donate goods, to sell them to needy people at a deep, deep discount. You got volunteers making it all happen. It is just a great thing, but the thing that strikes me is it's not just about doing, it's not just activism, it really is about faith. And you started this thing. What did it require of your faith to do it?
Well, this is the 4th time we've sat and done this, right? Mm-hmm. And I've heard him say it at all 4 services that faith does work. And before I tell you that story, I just want us to all appreciate the work, the energy, and the passion that Mel puts into what he does every day. What a great series it's been, Mel, so thank you. I forgot the question.
This, by the way, is why I require a leather chair at the end of the service. But now, what about faith? This doesn't happen without faith.
I am a byproduct of Elmbrook Church's mission and vision ever since I've been attending here back in the late 70s, early 80s. And I always marveled at the missionaries and the pastors and the guest speakers that would come and speak. They left successful careers to go serve somewhere. And I knew someday that would happen to me. And I know the desires in my heart the Lord would give me later in life, which he did. So my wife and I and my young family went to serve at some Central City ministries, learned how that worked back in the early 80s, and then we served here with the high school ministry for years. Then it was time to take my faith, my desire, my learning over the 20 years into action. So our mission was real clear. We wanted to go where the church isn't, where the resources are scarce, and where the underserved are.
George, you see activity down there. You see customers coming in to get stuff that improves their lives at a deep, deep discount. You see the volunteers, including some Elmbrook groups. I think our college ministry and probably others have been down there helping to shelve things and so on. What gives you joy about the activity that you see at Community Warehouse?
What brings me great joy and satisfaction is watching the Lord do miracles, and I'll pinpoint 3 here quickly. Back in 2002, when I took this step, if you want to call it that, a local businessman called me on the phone and said, "I heard you're doing some community outreach work in Milwaukee's South Side, and I have the gift of giving, And I said, well, that's terrific. And he said, I'm going to buy you a building that you can operate in. And that kind of put us on the map, and it jump-started our ministry. So we now had a place to operate. Secondly, I think the Lord has showed me that if you work in a particular community for a number of months and years, they truly embrace you. We are a cash business. We sell materials, brand new building materials, to Central City residents for a fraction of retail. So we handle cash, and I'm sure we've been cased because we work and live in a very rough area. We've been cased, but we haven't been hit once. And also, there's a lot of gang activity down on 9th and National, and there's a lot of graffiti going on, and they like to paint buildings, and we haven't been hit once. So I'm not smart enough to spiritualize it, to understand the total veil of protection that God has in us, but practically I can say that the gang members, in my opinion, their mothers, their fathers, their uncles, their aunts, their grandparents are either volunteering or purchasing goods at our warehouse. So we have served close to, in one way, shape, or form, 100,000 people we've touched in the last 4.5 years.
Amazing. Incredible. I mean, it's Salt and Light stuff, and $6 million of merchandise value have gone out the door. George, what would you say to anybody right now who they're not very engaged in their communities, but they feel like God has been speaking to them, saying, you got to figure out some way, got to do something? What would you say to them?
I figured out many nights I was driving home when I made this little step. My knuckles were white because I wasn't sure that I was doing the right thing until these miracles started happening. And then I figured out that service is not a spiritual gift that we wait to attain. It's a call to action, as this series has been, Faith Works. It's a call to action, and it's too bad that this service can't see all the envelopes that were up here and that were taken. I would say you get involved with little ministries here and there. I also would say, like Joshua, if you dip your toe in the waters will be stilled. And supernaturally, your faith grows because you learn to trust more. And for some reason, the Lord blesses faithfulness. We remain faithful, and He blesses that. So I'd say dip your toe in the water and start serving at any areas in your neighborhoods, in your church, and you can see how things will continue to grow supernaturally.
Thank you, George. Thank you for what you do. Thanks, brother, man.
Thank you.
Good. All right, you bet.